The best way is to take away the D and the R and just run on your name.
Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions,
but we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Brian. And I'm Nate.
Glad we made it through that, guys. Yeah. Glad we made it through that because this is probably our first 4-man episode. This should be interesting, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking of interesting, Mike, what are we talking about?
I want to talk about something that's very, very important in America. Okay? Yeah, I do want to talk about it, okay? You know, Nate is new to the show, and he had a very, very interesting pull the pin on that last show that we did. And so I just want to continue with what he was talking about. A little change to it, but I want to talk about large supermarkets in America.
With or without toilet paper.
And those shopping cart stalls.
Oh, yeah.
They should be moved by now.
Oh, yeah. I took out one today. Yeah. They called the police on me, but hey, yeah, I got it out. I had my parking spot. You know, no one was using it anyway, so it's very near and dear to my heart.
You took it home with you?
No,
put
I
it in your driveway, and now you come home and
side.
complain you have nowhere to park?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that though? Like, I try to take it back to the cart, but there's sometimes I'm like in a hurry and I'm like, fuck it, it's going right here, and this asshole's not gonna go to park there. And it's probably fucking gonna be Mike.
Right.
I knew it. I knew it was somebody like you,
and
Brian.
Then the wind comes and it blows and hits somebody else's car, and they get this big dent, and they're like, "Who left this cart out here?"
Yeah.
That's why the best place is Aldi. You're gonna take that shit back to get your quarter.
Yeah.
It's only a quarter, but I'm getting it back.
That's right, man. That's the smartest thing, because you never see the carts out there. If you think
about shark corrals in the parking lot.
Nope.
You take it back to the front door.
Yep.
And you get it back.
Really? Wait, they do that?
Yes. You never seen that?
Where?
At the Aldi supermarket.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, you don't never see the carts out there, man, in the middle of the parking lot. That's
for a quarter.
Yeah. Yep.
That quarterback.
Yep. Get that quarterback.
Well,
back.
if the people don't take it back, there's always going to be somebody sitting around in the parking lot waiting to take it back.
Yeah.
That bum's going to take that quarter.
Yeah.
I got that. Thank you.
But that's a smart move, though, if you think about it. Walmart and those other supermarket chains, they need to come up with that as well. People
but now Aldi took a job away from somebody because someone goes out and get those carts at Walmart. They don't go get carts at Aldi.
They don't even get the trash at Walmart. What are you talking about, carts?
You can't do that either. It's true.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead. It wasn't important.
No. Yes, it was. Way more important than what I was going to talk about.
It's funny we're talking about this because Home Depot, I saw this guy who's mad dogging me earlier, right? I came back again. I was like, this guy's still standing here. I go in the store shopping. I come out, and he's still standing in the same spot. I'm like, this guy ain't got a fucking job. And then all of a sudden, I've got the wood in the car, and he starts putting his gloves on and walking. Thank you, sir. I'm like, this is his job for the whole night. It's just so funny you guys are talking about that because I was like, what the hell?
Oh, so he looked like he didn't have a job, but his job was to help people.
Yeah, just grabbing carts. But he was standing out there the whole time. I was in the store for 30, 40 minutes, and he was in the same spot just looking at me. I'm like, okay. But the minute he saw me with that cart, he's like, got his gloves on, and he was ready to go.
Wow, that's interesting. Hey, so, Nate, okay, Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, I was just going to say, like, we are literally, almost 5-10 minutes in, and we are literally talking about supermarket parking lots.
I didn't expect that, Jim. I'm sorry.
Well, we can move inside because even before COVID-19, you should have worn a mask at Walmart anyway.
Well, judging by some of the things we've seen people wear in Walmart, it would fit in anyway.
Yeah. But hey, let me ask a question. Hey, Nate, what do you think about the election?
Is it over yet?
That's a good question. Let me look that up.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Is that on Google yet? Can it tell you who won?
Yeah,
I voted. I voted. I did my part. If shit hits the roof, I'm ready to go.
They're scavenging the graveyards right now looking for new votes.
It hasn't changed, dude. In like 24 hours, it still says 264 to 214.
So that's why I'm asking. I'm really trying to process this. And even in some states, they know who the senator is, but they don't know who the president was. How do you do that? Like, aren't they on the same ticket?
No, you just vote Republican down the line.
But I'm saying if they counted the Senate vote, they had to count the president vote. Nobody goes. What was it? Do you know anyone who goes and votes on a presidential election and doesn't pick a president, but picks all the senators and congressmen?
Maybe the senators are far enough ahead they don't have to count senator votes anymore.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't they? I mean, they're looking at the ballot.
There's not enough ballots left to have the other loser win.
Yeah.
That's like we talked about earlier, Jim.
Yeah, but I mean, how do they know? They must have seen the ballot. It doesn't matter. They must have seen the ballot.
No,
well, if you're losing by 90,000 and you only have 85,000 ballots to count, you won.
Exactly.
But they haven't declared winners yet on them. I mean, well, some states have. Yeah,
I
don't know.
Because there's such a gap.
It's garbage to me. It's all garbage. I think we need to change our election. Just like I told Mike, we've got other options to do elections. We need to change our election style.
Now, are you saying that because your guy didn't win so
No,
far?
I'm saying that so that you have a chance to make your vote count.
My vote counts all the time.
Your vote never counts because
Okay.
you vote for people that don't even get 1% of the vote.
Hey,
You voted for Kanye too? You voted for Kanye too?
Of course he did. He's got all his records.
He hasn't conceded yet.
He damn sure didn't.
Hey, he was on Joe Rogan. It was interesting. He asked him about the wars, and he's like, hold on a minute. He did a prayer. He didn't even have an answer for it. He's like, that's a tough one. Leave it to the professionals. I was like, that's a damn good answer, though. I can't argue that.
Yeah. It's better than giving some stupid answer, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But no, hey, Nate.
Jim?
What's that?
How do you change the election?
How do you change it?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about there's other options. There's options where you can vote for one or two people. You can vote for two, and then the runoff with the last two. So in other words, let's say guys like Mike would pick his third party guy, and then he'd have to pick a Democrat or Republican. So when it all is said and done at the end of the election, the top two guys will have a runoff. This way, the spoiler
Democrat, Republican.
Right. This way, the spoiler effect. Well, but Mike can't pick a third party, so all those votes would go to one or the other.
So just make it more difficult.
No, it's not more difficult. It takes away the spoiler because, like right now, people are saying, like, didn't that happen in was it the Democratic convention? Like when people were voting for two of their people, Bernie Sanders, like all the Bernie Sanders people, they're spoilers all the time because they take away from the Democratic vote when people vote for Bernie. So what the principle behind it is the first go around, all those Bernie voters vote for Bernie, and then he gets eliminated. Then they have to pick, the Republican or the Democrat.
That's the primaries.
But I'm saying in the full election, though, I'm saying like all the independents now, I'm not just saying the Democrats. Yeah, the example I was saying like the primaries, but like in the elections now, like all of Mike's people that voted for all the third party stuff, now they have to pick one of the top two, and then that will determine. Or there's the ranking system. The third option is the ranking, where you could pick as many people as you want. And then the one with the most votes, second most votes, like that. But there's other options. I guess that's the point I'm getting at. The plurality is what we do right now, and it doesn't allow for third parties to ever, 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 ever get in there.
The best way is to take away the D and the R and just run on your name.
Yeah, and that's true, period. Well, some of that's already happening, right?
And have term limits.
Term limits, yeah.
I think the president should be one term.
You think so?
Yeah.
You just get warmed up.
One
Yeah, I think
8-year
it's tough.
term. Yes.
Yeah.
1 8-year term, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 1 6-year term. Give them the benefit of the doubt. But let's
Yeah,
be,
I would say 6. I would say
This
6.
is a good number.
well, let's be real. Really, how much power does the president really have? I mean, even now, if Joe Biden wins and the Republicans win the Senate, nothing's happening.
No, they won't pass anything.
Yeah.
So nothing will happen. So really, the president doesn't have much of anything. You've got to control basically all three branches, and then you'll get stuff done if you choose to.
Kind of. If you have the presidency and the Senate, you can do a lot more than not having the Senate.
Sure.
So if you had the presidency and the Senate, so if the Democrats had the Senate but not Congress, they would have got rid of Trump because
Right.
they would have.
The impeachment thing, yeah.
But now, if the Republicans own Congress, impeachment probably would never start.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about that, Brian?
Go over my head, man.
He's just chasing tail.
You guys are speaking Spanish, dude. That would make that multiple choice test would be a lot more difficult without the Republican and Democrat on it. I'll tell you that.
You know what's good though? I'm glad you mentioned Spanish, Brian, because that is something that I recently we're talking about. So you know all the Democratic talking points about how Republicans are racist and all this stuff like that. Well, it's interesting because they say Trump is all these things, but Trump gained black vote, Spanish vote, lost white vote. So for all the things that he's saying, that they're saying he is, this election didn't turn out that way.
So it's safe to say that strategy didn't work.
Right, but it's a
Right.
common strategy, right?
Yeah.
Republicans are always racist and they always okay.
Yeah, fear.
Yeah.
Here's
I don't,
some,
know, I don't know if he flipped any votes. He might have gained votes of people who didn't vote previously.
Well, the percentage went up, sure.
Right. More people voted this year than ever before.
Yeah,
Right.
so I guess it's hard to gauge it then. Very
Well,
hard
but
to
still,
gauge it.
it's not, because if last year 10 Hispanic people voted for him, and this year 20, he obviously gained. So
Yeah.
regardless, he's
I didn't know they
gained.
could vote.
What's that?
I didn't know they could vote.
Legally, they can't.
No, we're not talking about the illegal ones.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
all Spanish people are illegal.
Oh, I thought they all were. I'm sorry.
That's Brian. I can tell he's a good friend of yours there, Jim.
I'm
Yeah.
joking. I'm totally joking. I grew up in California, dude. I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
I
this is
have
from
mad respect.
something from Mike, who calling everybody a racist early on in our episodes.
What?
Exactly. Don't make that footage.
No, but
No, I forgot. Okay, you just did a Mikeism. Okay. But no, it's cool.
There's one thing I did want to bring up though, talking about this, because I do think about it often, because I do a lot of YouTube. And, when you start clicking on things that you like, it starts noticing what your political views are. Notice what you want to hear. So it's very difficult, I think now even more than ever, and you included, Jim. I mean, the algorithms tell you what you want to see, and they will reinforce it over and over. And it's no different than advertising. It's proven to work no matter what. You know what I mean? Seeing things over and over again, you become that whatever you're viewing. So I think too that plays a big role in a lot of this. I don't care if you sit there and say that you're unbiased. I think it's almost nearly impossible to be unbiased in some sense.
Well, the only reason I would contest that is the things I watch are not hiding things. Like, for example, I would look this stuff out anyway, but a lot of things I watch are showing you what's happening on the other side. They're showing you. Now, maybe if they distorted their perspective or whatever, you can always go look at that. They're not lying about things like the good people on both sides and not showing you the truth. The things I watch are actually showing you what is happening on the other side. So it's not like I'm just in this echo tunnel. Maybe I am from perspective or opinion, but they're actually showing me what I would be seeing on CNN.
Who says that's the truth? What news is truthful now to you?
Well, there is no mainstream. No, even Fox, whatever they say, Fox is the opposite of what. No, I don't trust any of the mainstream. I watch YouTubers that actually do research. They're the ones going and digging through all this stuff. I just have not a rapport, but I have a trust because of what they say, and I believe them. And if I don't believe them, I can go check, which is
Yeah, but
something
what
other
stuff?
people
Where
don't
are they
do.
getting their information from?
What do you mean? Where they
That
getting it
makes
from?
true.
Well, they're scouring the internet. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we're all subjective to what is actually true.
Exactly.
Because if somebody writes an article, you just can't cite that article, because that's how a lot of mainstream media does it. They have one idiot write an article, and then another idiot says, oh yeah, look, I know it's true because this idiot wrote about it. So now by the time it gets to the third idiot, it's been validated by two idiots. So obviously it must be true. So I get the whole purpose of that. But when people are showing you videotapes of people burning things, tearing things down, and then CNN is standing in front of that fire behind them, well, there's mostly peaceful protests out here. I don't have to be smart or be watching CNN every day to realize they're lying to me.
But but at the same time, I mean, like it's tough either way. It's tough either way. That's why I have respect for everybody's views for the most part, and I don't try to get too, unless it's Jim. Maybe we get a little emotional in conversations, but I trust Jim and that we can be friends at the end of the day. But I try not to get too involved because people are so convicted. It's almost like religion, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, whoa, don't even bring up the God thing. If your view is different, holy moly, they automatically assume that you're a bad person to the bone because you support Trump, because you're voting for Biden and you're incompetent. You know what I mean? It's amazing how serious it is, and I think that's one thing that I try to stay away from because it skews our view of people. I think that's the harmful thing about it. We need to be together. We need to be one. We need to be a community. Like we talked, the other night on the episode, it's like the community. We got to maintain that community. I think that's really important. Views aside, I mean, we can have opinion, and what is fact? You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask, because I'll ask Mike, because I think Mike can assist. So you telling me there's no such thing as absolute truth? I think the distinction is when you find absolute truth and you still choose to deny it, that's where I draw the line. It's one thing to say, when you watch the news, and I'll use the same thing about good people on both sides. It's one thing to see that, get all irate and say, oh my God, he said that, he's such a racist. I get that. And I think that's what you're referring to. But the moment somebody says, no, watch the whole video and look at it in context, and you either refuse or you do watch it and still hold the same opinion, you've just defied absolute truth. And that's where I said, I can't do that.
That's the problem right there, though. But I can take two intelligent people on each side. I can take the same information and divulge more information that the other person doesn't know on each side to make it right for them. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not saying that. I'm saying watch the whole video when he clearly says, I'm not talking about neo-Nazis and white supremacists. And their whole argument is he's a racist because he's supporting neo-Nazis and white supremacists. There is no distorting that. He said that. Mike, I was waiting for your reply.
Oh,
because
I agree.
You're the black guy in here. You are the token black guy that makes us not get banned from all media.
I would ask someone to define absolute truth, right? That's why, Jim, some of the earlier episodes we had, I always told you, I said, hey, when I speak, most of the time, it's like us when we speak about our military experience.
Right.
That's something that definitive. I'm not talking about military experience from Jim, Nate, or Brian's point of view. This is something that I experienced.
Right.
So to me, that's absolute truth.
Right. So because your name is Michael, that's absolute truth. Trump said that he's not talking about neo-Nazis and white supremacists. That is absolute truth. He said that.
Okay, I don't know why you stuck on that.
It's just a good example because they still use
that out there, Jim.
They're still using
that. We got it, Jim.
Where I'm trying to get that point.
I got you. But when we talk about doing research and things of that nature, it does seem, and I go third party, so I get to see a whole lot more than the average DNR. And because, that's why I say when Democrats say something about Republicans, I say, well, you guys do it too, and vice versa. But then they go to the defense, No matter which side you're talking about, they always go to the defense and bring up that lesser of two evils, or, well, yeah, Bush was bad, but he wasn't as bad as, Clinton, Obama, whoever, right?
Right.
Trump is bad, but he wasn't as bad as Obama was. Yeah, I understand, but he wasn't as bad as Trump. And it's like, okay, so where do we go from here?
Well, we talked
Like-
about the whataboutism. So
Yeah.
there is a place for a whataboutism. There is a place for it. But no, that's not the first defense you go to. And that's the problem. People need to just say right and wrong, or what's right and wrong, or what they think is right or wrong, and just call it that and hold one standard. I've always said that, one standard.
But when you talk about the mainstream media, I don't have any trust in it either. So,
No.
no, I just can't.
That's what I said, Brian. So tell me how somebody can stand in front of a burning building and say, well, they're mostly peaceful protests. I mean, and you're sitting there like, wait a minute, I'm going to try to understand their perspective. Okay.
True? Could that statement still be true?
Could it still be true?
Yes.
Sure. But it's blatantly denying the obvious that's right behind you.
Sure.
So is the
But I'm
media
saying-
just showing you that because they want you to think everything's horrible there and not show you?
Well,
The
the people that are standing in front of it are the ones saying it's not happening.
Well, they're saying it's mostly peaceful. They're not saying what behind them is peaceful. They're just saying it's mostly peaceful. Now, why would you stand in front of a burning building saying it's mostly peaceful? That's pretty stupid, but
Well, it's deceptive. Yeah. And even at that, like, so, if your husband beats you one time a week, is he mostly abusive or mostly nice?
he's mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful, right? Yeah,
6 out of 7 is mostly peaceful.
right.
Yeah, but to Nate's point, yeah, if I'm saying that, well, yeah, Jim right here, he's most of the time he's peaceful to his family. It wouldn't be good to show Jim beating the hell out of his kids at that moment, So
Right.
that's I get what you're saying. That's not a good reference right there.
And like like I said, Brian, I could agree with what he's saying. That yeah, it could be true. Brian could be mostly calm and mostly a great guy, and then that one day he goes off on me because I said something to him on the show or something. That doesn't make him a bad guy. So it doesn't judge him by that. But it would be really bad for me to say Brian is mostly, irate, and here he is just sitting here just calm as heck. Then it make me look stupid.
Kind of like the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you though too. Now, if somebody tells you that, what does that make you feel? Does that affect your ego when somebody says, "Oh, you just listen to the same thing that reaffirms what you believe"?
Sure. I mean,
So
it'd probably make you mad. Yeah.
So that's also another thing that I've noticed in people too, myself included. Somebody say, "Oh, you want to listen to that?" When it's like, damn, I think I look the other way. I think I look at both sides. I think I interpret the information, but it's a shot to the ego, and it immediately makes that conversation difficult to keep your cool and be like, okay, maybe you're right. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that with myself. It's just something to think about because it is an attack in somebody when you say, "Oh, well, you just listen to because you're blowing off my opinion or you're blowing off their opinion because you're like, wow, this guy's brainwashed." And it's not because you're not going to change somebody's mind in a 5-minute conversation. You know what I'm saying? Or a 10-minute conversation.
No, but we'll go back to the reality. I think someone asked Mike not too long ago, which candidate he thought was the lesser of two evils, and he skirted the question and basically said they're both bad. So he skirted the question. So he gave him an honest opinion without saying, well, this one's good, and ignoring the bad in the other one. So he
Mike
kind of,
2020.
yeah, he kind
Like
of
a politician.
right.
Well, Nate, let me bring you up to speed here. The actual question
Go ahead, Switzerland.
is they asked me if you had to vote for one of the two, Biden or Trump, which one do you think would be a better president? And I said, nah, I can't vote for either one. On principle, I could not vote for either one.
Did you vote?
Yeah, libertarian. Yeah.
But see, he's evading the question. He's not
How
standing really on principles, because they're saying if you were on a desert island and you had two boats to get on, one was captained by Biden and one was captained by Trump, and you knew that was the only way to get off the island, which boat would you get on?
Are they both leaving the island? I'm not leaving then.
Well, then you're going to die because there's nothing left on the island.
Dinghy. A libertarian dinghy.
I'll wait for
I'll
the
tell you
libertarian ferry.
Yeah. If they were both on the island and I'm there, hey, I donned the uniform. I was willing to put my life on the line for the country, and I would do it again. On that island, the three of us, I would nuke it.
Why don't you just get them out, convince them to have a debate, and take both boats?
Like I said earlier, if the independents and libertarians had more money and can compete against these other DNRs, we'd have a better vote.
Yeah.
That's
That
why I
would mean
suggested
something.
just changing the system. You can really get a third party in there if you just change the voting system from what we have it now. Because then people can vote the truth, what they believe first, and then you can sort it out from there.
It's funny. I learned something new.
Yeah. When I was voting, I noticed, I told my daughter, I said, I wish they would take the D, the R, the L away from people's name. You know,
Yeah,
'cause then you have the people that just go down the party line.
Yep.
They don't even know who their senator is.
Guilty.
They don't even know.
I forgot what state it was, up in the Northeast. There was a crazy ass person who found out that the sheriff wasn't
Satanic
going.
worshiper?
No, what? They
Was
found
that
out
the
the
lady
current.
who won that was satanic worshiper?
Yeah, she was nuts.
Yes.
And she said, to prove my point, I ran as a Republican. I am not a Republican. I am nuts. I am stupid. But because I had an R next to my name, they voted for me, and I won.
Wow.
Now, she didn't beat the Democrat that was already the sheriff, but the Republican that was going to run for sheriff didn't file in time. So she, I think, filed before the time ended, and they voted for her because she was Republican, but she admitted she's absolutely insane, and this is how stupid it is.
Well, let's be real
Wow.
though. Let's be real though. If there was no R&D next to that, those low level or lower level elections would be resolved by 100 votes to 30 votes. There would be no thousands. There would be no 10,000s. People just wouldn't vote because nobody knows who these people are.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Why not?
But-
If you just remove the DNR, you still know who the people are. They're still the same person.
No, but there's nobody. They're not campaigning here. I mean, I get hundreds of flyers, or you could see paid advertisement. But that goes back to what you said. The one with the most money then will get voted for.
Yeah.
Whoever can slander the other one the best and make them look like, a hero. But
Yeah,
as far as people knowing who they're voting for, it's not.
That's
happening.
another issue. Is all they do is I hate. Well, I hate Trump. All they do is bash, or I hate Biden. I hate Biden. Well, what are you going to do? Instead of bashing somebody, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do. I don't have to bash Jim because I don't like Jim, but I can tell you what I'm going to do for the country. I don't got to tell you what Jim did bad for the country. I don't got to tell you what, but I can tell you what I'm going to do for the country. I don't have to bash somebody.
It's a debate. It's a debate. Remember her? Did you hear her? You know what I'm talking about? No?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about. When what's her name was bashing Biden in the debate, and they asked her, they were like, why did you say he was racist and now you're running for president with him? And she's like, it was a debate. She totally went around the question.
I didn't
She's
see
like,
that.
Come on, yeah, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
glad you explained that because, yeah.
No, I didn't see that one.
That's what I was saying with the ultimate truth, or when your vice president calls you a racist in the debate, and then you pick her as your vice president, and then all of a sudden, oh, it was just a debate. Well, were you lying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to watch Fox News to know that.
Right. I get you. I get it. But for me, if
Here's
you
a
say
question.
change it, if you say change the way you were talking about changing the vote, if you just had these two people up there, whoever got the most votes, now it's going to be a runoff. If you don't like either candidate, now people are just not going to vote. It's going back to what you said before. If we take the D and the R off, people are just not going to vote.
Well, either way, you got to change the system because the corruption starts at the bottom and just gets worse as they climb.
Yeah, but I
have to
think
change
no
the
matter what system right now, I can't think of any system.
Okay,
But it's
let
not
me
gonna be
correct that.
corruption.
Let me correct. You have to change the people in the system so that there's less corruption in the beginning.
Yeah,
If we,
okay.
if we can get the corruption out of the beginning, then the good people won't be forced out.
Right.
Should a president have to have military experience?
Yes.
I strongly agree with that.
Yes.
At least draft dodging. That's experience.
The other candidate took the same exemptions when he didn't go to war either. So
Yeah. And if you've been in some form of political office for over 40 years, and everybody starts looking around like, what did he do? Time
the
to
next
go.
4 years he'll do something.
Yeah.
I bought my third home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
See,
time to go.
I live in Delaware. That's where Joe Biden spent his 40 plus years as a senator here. So I get all the commercials and all that stuff up here. And
Right.
just like any other state, we have one city in Delaware that keeps them all voted in.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, you talking about the Scranton boy?
That's where he
Spent
was
his whole
born.
life in Delaware?
He was born there. He was not raised in Scranton.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
he's a Scranton boy. He could fight like the best of them.
He left there like in second grade.
Scranton boy taking on a guy from the Bronx, was it? or was
Yeah.
it from Brooklyn? I don't remember where Trump's from. But like, really? All right. Anyways.
So anybody want to wrap that up?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right?
name five people on the ballot that you voted for. I'll be honest. I can name one.
You can name two: Trump and Pence.
Yeah, but what, wasn't he on the same?
I'm
like-
honest though.
I know who my governor is. I voted against him, but he won. I knew who my senators were. I knew them.
Yeah.
Beyond
Yeah,
that,
I did the same thing with my daughter. She was like, "Yeah, I'm voting for the president." I said, "Yeah, but okay, what about the sheriff?" I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I was like, "Holy shit!"
When you don't care about local politics, that's where it all starts.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right. You're absolutely right. That's where more people should care.
Yeah, and I
That's how the
tried
corruption
to
gets
show
in.
her also, because this was her first time voting. Jim, your number one fan. This was her first time voting, and we went there together. And I was, just talking to her about everything. And I said, "Don't worry about it. You're just like, well, about 3/4 of the country. They can't tell you who the senator is. They can't trust me. You'll get there. Don't worry about it. I'll get you there.
Right.
You
Just
know?
pick a letter.
Yeah.
Pick a letter and go with it.
Where you going?
Did you vote straight libertarian ticket?
You can't do that in Texas.
Why?
Yeah. No, it won't allow you. You can't just hit that button and say just
Oh
straight.
no, we didn't have one button either. We had to go through
Okay.
every one.
Oh,
and
yeah,
find
yeah.
R, D, or L,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
no, and some of them they just have Democrat, Republican. You didn't even have a third party, yeah.
You didn't have a runner. Like, some of them didn't even have Republicans running against or Democrats running against. Like, they automatically, even if you didn't vote, they still won.
Yeah, exactly.
And let me tell
exactly.
you, here's a worse one. I saw two Republicans on the same thing, like two Republicans were running for something. It was one of the lower level ones. But the first Republican was on page 1. The second one was on page 2, the backside. So this guy, if you're a Republican and you're voting all Republican, he's getting all the votes.
Oh, okay.
They're doing that in Georgia right now. They have a Democrat and two Republicans running for Senate. So they're voting for either Republican. So now you're basically allowing the Democrat to win because you're splitting your Republican votes.
Wow. Yeah, and libertarians always split the take votes away from depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, all 30 of them.
Yeah.
I'm
That
with you,
might-
man. Look, I'm with you. I would vote with you too. I would definitely be with you, but I'm just not naive to think it's already bad enough people think their votes don't matter. If I'm going to go libertarian, I'm going to need probably a couple 100 million friends to go in with me.
See, but then to me, you're not voting on principle.
No, I wouldn't vote then.
I love it. I love it.
So just like you yelled at Mike before for not picking Democrat or Republican, now you just said I
Hold
won't.
on. Hold on. Mike said that he would not pick either one if he had to. Okay, so if there was no Libertarian Party and he wouldn't pick either one, he's not voting either. So in all honesty, if I don't think there's anybody worthy of my vote, why would I vote?
I wasn't disagreeing with you, Jim.
Yes,
I
you
just
are.
said I
You
love it.
always disagree with me.
Oh no, give it a couple minutes. I'll be there. But no, on this one. But no,
Like,
I
I don't
agree.
think either of these two are worthy of my vote either, but I had to pick what would be best that I thought would be best. And I
Yeah,
have two.
but, God, I just can't. I can't,
I
man.
think Brian's froze. Or he's happy about my
It's a
comment.
He's happy as hell with your comment.
There
There
he
he
is.
is. Brian, you should have saw your face you froze on. You will see it, don't worry.
Yeah.
One day.
And he's froze again.
Yeah.
He's extremely happy.
Yeah.
Nate, you
But
gotta
no.
teach him the mic drop moment thing. He's not getting it right.
No, no.
You gotta cut out. You can't just freeze. You just gotta disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
Turn the power off. Turn the
I
power
think
off.
I think the password is we hate Big Macs or something.
We hate Big Macs, really?
Yeah, isn't that McDonald's password? Isn't that what he's on McDonald's Wi-Fi?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So if it's McDonald's, they should say we hate.
No,
the Whopper.
McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's is what, Whoppers?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's,
don't know.
it's the opposite. I don't even know either. I don't even go to play.
But yeah, like Brian was saying.
I thought
But
Brian
no.
was just smiling.
Yeah, he was smiling. He was just happy. There he goes again. You see that? But
No,
no,
he's moving his eyes. Look at his eyes. I see it.
it's almost the same. It's the same look. Though.
It was
But
the same pose, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, what we were saying, Brian, was what were we saying, Jim?
I don't know if we were saying anything. We were saying maybe it's time to move into our pull the pin so we can
Oh yeah,
actually get on with this show and give everybody a break.
yeah. Brian, do you have a pull the pin for us?
You need a moment?
You don't
Says
have
no?
anything?
Nada.
You don't have anything? Nothing there,
No,
Brian?
nothing. I can't tell if he's moving. Is the camera going
Yeah,
a little
he's
slow or?
He's
I'm
moving.
afraid to even talk because it's gonna, too much bandwidth.
Oh,
so-
okay.
So the bandwidth works on volume and voice.
What about you, Jim?
What about? Oh, I got something. always got something to complain
Oh,
about.
God.
You want me to go with mine? I'll
Yeah,
start with
sure.
mine. All right.
Oh,
So I'm going to
God.
pull the pin on something I experience in every weekday except holidays, and that is these lazy ass mail carriers. Or I don't even call them carriers because they're really not carrying anything anymore. There's a problem in my mailbox. I don't know if you know this or not, but somebody politely ran over my mailbox, and now it's crooked, and I'm not buying a new one because it still works. The problem is the flap door kind of just falls sometimes if you don't close it, like if you don't push it closed.
Mhm.
And I've went out and talked to this lady twice. I said, somebody ran over my mailbox. If you can't tell, the door gets stuck a little bit. You're here all the time. I didn't say that part. I wasn't mean, but she's here all the time. You'd think maybe she'd kind of get it and see that it's crooked. But no, she'll go throw my mail in, half-ass attempt to close it, and it just opens back up. Now, this isn't a big deal unless there's a package in there and somebody walking by decides, hey, look what's in there. Or if it rains, because then everything in my mailbox gets soaking wet. All she has to do is push a little bit harder and it closes. Can we please, I know it's a long day. It's a hard job. I know most postal people hate their jobs, but give it to somebody who knows how to close mailboxes if you don't want to work there. Please.
Yeah.
That's my pull the pin.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I no, I can't agree with that.
That pull the pin.
Oh shit. Go ahead, Nate.
I'm not going to complain about lazy mail people, but yeah, the mail. I sent something certified September 24th. It can't be found right now. Certified. Needed a signature. It can't be found.
Wow.
Good thing
Certifiably
it wasn't
lost.
my vote. Good thing it wasn't my vote.
True. That's true.
They probably
Wow.
thought it was and figured you were voting for Trump.
Maybe. It was going to a courthouse.
That was his get out of jail free card. That was his last chance. Nate is going to prison for the rest of his life because of these lazy ass mail people. What do you got, Mike?
I would say mine is nationwide. This is something dealing with our nation here on our interstates. And it's something important, right? It's something I'm going to be honest. Jim, I know you're going to disagree with this, okay? You're going to disagree with me, but hey, bear with me because this is something near and dear to my heart, right? Speed limits. I don't believe in them. I think they all need to go away because no one's following them. Absolutely no one. except for the
that Prius in the left lane.
yes, thank you. That's what and that's
Pull
why I
that
say
pin.
pull the pin on them. Somebody in the left lane. The only person on the highway that wants to follow the law, the speed limit law, I say pull the pin on them. That's
Well,
what I got.
I actually do agree with you, Mike, except one exception:
Oh God.
school zones. We have to protect the children.
Well, that's true. That's true. But okay, I was talking.
I'm talking highways.
Oh,
Yes,
the highways?
I did say the highway. So if you
Oh,
got a
my
school on the
bad. Yeah.
highway,
Well,
yeah,
I'll
we
say
should-
do away with all the speed limits. I'm okay with that because people need to get the hell out of the way. When I'm in a hurry, you need to get out the way. It's just that simple.
yeah, Fort Hood High School is on the highway. Yeah, so you're right, Jim.
Well, actually, there are some schools right on the highway. Maybe not with a driveway, but they're connected.
Well, okay, interstates.
Either way, Brian, what do you got? Just say crappy internet, something.
I can't think of nothing, man.
And we all would like to thank Brian for his contribution.
Jim, I'm glad you worked so hard to get him on the show today.
The things I went through to get this guy on this show today, and that's what your pull the pin is.
A whole new Zoom link, and he contributed nothing. We got the family advice before he was on the show. Nothing.
I got one.
Oh, here it comes.
Well, no, man, this is whatever. Nah, when you say you were in the Navy, everybody assumes that I was on a fucking ship, and I was never on a ship. I never even took I took a tour of a ship in a reserve unit with an air wing unit, Marine Corps air wing unit, but I would never saw a ship. So just because you're in the Navy doesn't mean you're on a ship. You know what I mean? Throwing rope.
So
and,
you were one of those village people?
what's that?
You were one of those village people?
Yes. That's the only thing I can think of.
We appreciate it, Brian.
That's much better than nothing.
So you know what a ship and a condom have in common, right?
Uh-oh.
Both full of semen.
And that is all the time we have for this episode. We hope you enjoyed what we had to share. We hope you come back next time. Thank you, Nate and Brian, for joining us. Until next time, Godspeed.
And pull the
Go
pin.
Army, beat Navy.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.